75 there, Billy McConnell. 75, we just saw Glenn Richards on the Hawk Kawasaki here and spinning the front wheel, back wheel should I say, not got two-wheel drive.
Yamaha do have a two-wheel drive, but
yeah, I know.
it's the maritime.
Just go away from that now. It's a mess in my commentary. So then, spinning the rear wheel to get a bit of heat in is about what I was about to say. Now they're going to get a load of heat in them because this is blast-off time, and this track is at its worst. Just slightly greasy in slightly different places. What a nightmare. Down towards turn one. We all look out the window here from the commentary position because it's going to be Skittles, surely.
Could be wrong, but it looked like it was a few riders keen to get off the grid. I'll be surprised if there's no jump starts.
I'm glad I'm wrong. Down towards Cascades. That is the Avenue. 42 leads. That's Brendan Roberts, indeed. So
first time Oulton Park for Brendan Roberts.
It'll be interesting to see if there's any water laid anywhere on this racetrack, because the shower's gone through. It's not raining here now at all.
That's a difficult position to be in. Brendan Roberts, number 42 at the front there. It's he who dares wins on this lap. If he's prepared to take a chance, he could get a serious gap there, but if he encounters some slippy racetrack before the others, looks like Billy McConnell there, was it?
Yeah, no love lost between the Aussies then. Oh no, that was James Rose there.
Australian 1-2, James Rose, the crasher at Malloy Park, unfortunately, when he was leading going up to hairpin, actually spun out.
So lots of tactics, Ollie, as far as the boys are concerned out there in R6. Oh, there we go. Well, I suppose 22 down on the floor. That is 22. Craig Beggs. So Craig Beggs is down on the floor.
First victim of these tricky conditions.
Well, you don't know whether he was tripped or pushed, really, do you? When they're all in a pack, this lot. Down to Hizzies, I'll tell you what, he was running in a bit hot there, but it does look dry through that section.
Billy McConnell, number 75 there, really has got
that.
He really wants it.
On the flip-flop as they go up Clay Hill now. The only bad thing about a quick shower is, even if the track is dry, the paintwork on the outside of the track never dries out immediately. It always has a little bit of slippy stuff on there still. So if you touch the white line, you are off, like someone's yanked it out from under you.
That is more slippery than ice out there, that wet paint.
I was about to say, Ollie, what are the tactics when you start a race in R6? You just got your head down and going for it. Is there any tactic at all? Whoa!
But basically,
James Rose underneath Billy McConnell.
You're going to have to be quick if you're going to get a word in round here, Ollie. I can tell you.
You just got to stay on it, really. You know, and hopefully hope for the best. You don't get taken out, but
I hope for the best. That sort of fits with the profile of R6 Cup racing, doesn't it? Really. So through Old Hall we go. This is going to be a cracker.
Looks like the track's in decent condition.
I'll tell you what, this is a bit of a worry all the way around here. These two Aussies are having a go with James Rose. Superb stuff. Brendan Roberts. So Brendan Roberts on bike 42. 75 is Billy McConnell. Side by side out towards Ireland. What a quick corner to be messing around with each other. And that really doesn't matter if you're approaching it on a super bike, a 125 or an R6. Oh,
Billy McConnell back in front.
Of course, that's the other feature, isn't it, with these youngsters? Every lap is like a voyage of discovery. They just get quicker and quicker and quicker. Oh, yellow flags at the chicane here at Britain chicane.
No passing there, then yellow flags out.
Oh, dear me, there's a wide old line out towards... Yeah, of course, under a yellow flag, there's got to be no passing at all, otherwise you'll be penalised with a ride-through penalty. Billy McConnell out front.
I'm so pleased the rain's gone off, at least for the moment.
I'll tell you what, there was a crash at Ireland just now that we missed a moment ago. Leon Hunt has crashed at Ireland Corner. There it is, number 6. But we are told that the rider is okay, so anybody watching at home, you can rest easy.
Leon Hunt qualified down there in 22nd on the LH racing bike.
It's Brendan Roberts who has the fastest lap at just over 2 minutes at the moment. That was on lap 1, of course. We're on lap 2 now of the 12, and I've got a feeling this is just going to build and build and build this race, because none of these guys are going to be able to get away.
Quite strange for Billy McConnell there on the Tamworth Yamaha bike at the front. He's been here for over a year now, and I'm sure his big target was all the Brits, and suddenly another Australian comes along and gives him some competition.
I'll tell you what, they're going to have a little bit more than competition to contend with. It's getting blacker and blacker over your shoulder, Neil. If you could look out your window, really is getting very black clouds that are blowing in from that direction here. So we may have another downpour right in the middle of this race. McConnell, Rose, Roberts, Lee, Lowry and Anthony. That's your top 6 at the moment. Fastest lap has gone to Anthony on bike 13. So 13 is the quickest man out there, David Anthony, on the Astro Group bike. God, dearie me.
Like to ask Ollie, have these bikes changed at all from last year? Pretty much same spec.
It's got new front forks, different front brakes, so they have changed the front end more than the rear. But as you can see by the lap times in qualifying, last year it was a 47 the race time, and this year it was 46 dead. So it has improved by about a second. So I would say they are quite a bit better bike, to be honest.
Yeah.
James Rose out front on bike 28, but he's about to be attacked by an Australian, and the Australian wins. Into his Billy McConnell again throws it in. Nice little style McConnell's got as well. I like the style. Up over Clay Hill, James Rose fighting as hard as he can at the moment. Brendan Roberts in third place, but he's under attack himself at the minute. Bit of a gap now between first and second, and then that battle for third.
John Boy Lee there.
Through Druids, down towards Lodge Corner, the last braking position on the racetrack. Up the inside, tell you what, that was a good... The Australian looked very strong on the brakes there, because I had a feeling that James Rose was going to look for a way by on the brakes, but there's absolutely no chance of that. The Australian great on the brakes. What's he like down in Old Hall? Just as good. Through car, held me breath. We're only on lap 4, only a third of the way into this race.
I know, these 5 at the front there, it really is anybody's race at the moment. They are all over the place, but I don't think anyone's about to break away.
148.649.
Another Australian there, setting the fastest lap.
The Aussies are coming through the Virgin Mobile Cup. Look at this, all over the track. Jockeying for position at Ireland. That's a great corner.
Of course, the dilemma here is that Rob Mack, well, any line goes, really.
Well, that's true.
Of course, the rules of this championship are, if you win the championship, you get full Virgin R1 Superbike raid in Rob Mack's Virgin Superbike team for the following year, and he could be an Australian on board next year.
Well, it won't do him any harm. I don't think he's racist in any way, shape or form, Rob Mack. As long as they can play golf, of course. If they can't play golf, he'll be a bit upset.
As they play golf and enjoy.
Oh, nicely done. Well, they don't get any tighter than that. I think I'll have a bit more of that later. Billy McConnell regains the lead from James Rose.
Oh, that's John Boy Lee there around the outside.
78 is John Boy Lee, 42 is Brendan Roberts, 28 is James Rose, 75 is Billy McConnell. And they really are good job. They're all painted the same colour. My point being, if they rub each other, they stay the same colour.
You just see the animal bike, Ian Lowry bike there just coming up the rear. Ian Lowry back in 6th position.
Into the braking area. Yes, you were saying about the rear. He's through one place. Ian Lowry then. Michael Niblett's back in 7th place at the moment. Just swapping one side to the other side. It doesn't really matter. The Australian finds his way through on James Rose again.
6-way battle now.
What a race.
6 abreast.
Well, this is the best Virgin Mobile Cup race I've ever seen. And thank heavens it's because of the Australians.
6 abreast down the avenue there.
A bit of sitting up in the middle.
That's Brendan Roberts there sitting up there.
Yeah, you can do without the domino effect in the middle of a corner like Cascades. And that's given McConnell a little bit of an opportunity to get away. And
James Rose again.
James Rose again. Ollie joins in here, of course. You're not getting much of a word in edgeways, Ollie, but that's
action-packed.
I bet you're glad you moved up a class.
Well, look at
actually, just looking at the back of this group, it looks like it could easily turn into a 10-way battle. They're all catching up.
These lot are holding each other up a little bit, I think.
47.7 is the quickest lap by Adam Jenkinson now. So the Bernie Murray sponsored or managed man. This would have been his home racetrack. It is his home racetrack, and we would have expected a little bit more from him. He's down in 8th place at the moment, but he's put up the fastest lap of the race so far. And judging by the way this lot are tripping up over each other, he's going to have an opportunity to close in. Adam Jenkinson started last year off. He's a bit of a veteran as far as this is concerned, because he won the first 3 rounds of last year, if memory serves me correctly.
He did win 3 races last year, and this year many of the paddock punters' favourite rider to win this championship. He's a real class act.
There's obviously Bernie Murray that slowed him down just a fraction, I would imagine, in that case.
Double British mini moto champion, a real class act, and quite infamous for not making the best starts, but ghosting his way through the field. Looks like the rain's starting again.
Indeed, I can see it against the window behind you, Neil. It's blowing in behind you, and doesn't look. It's very, very black over your shoulder. And these guys are going to have a tremendous amount of difficulty. This race, I'm told, won't be stopped unless there's a deluge. So they are going to have to race their way through it. It's really going to be a lot of experience they're going to gain from this. It's going to be interesting to see who just manages to psych themselves up for the challenge.
They're going to gain a lot of experience. What kind of experience, I'm not sure.
Jenkinson off the back there now. Number 11, Jenkinson, he's right on it. He's in 7th place now. Watch out for him. He's got grey leathers on.
Number
Very
11.
distinctive indeed. Yep, number 11. There he is.
There
Right
he
at
is.
the back of the bunch, and he's joined them. Now, he is great at carving his way through.
He really is. The trouble is, one of these could go down mid-pack and skittle the rest with them in conditions like these.
Save him a job. Through Ireland, and they're right out to the white line. Into Shell now. Lovely lake out the back. No time for a view of that.
Young riders between the ages 16 and 22, they don't know what the word back off
Well,
means.
they get their £18,000 back as well, plus that superbike ride, and a game of golf thrown in, I'm sure, with Rob Mack.
And a flapjack.
Well, half of one. Rob Mack will have eaten it by the time he gives it to him. Over the top goes 75, Billy McConnell. Billy McConnell has got the biggest lead that there's been in this race so far. So Billy McConnell.
Oh, Brendan Roberts down the inside there.
Everybody's down the inside.
Suddenly he's up to 2nd. Well, that was a brave manoeuvre.
Unbelievable.
He either took a chance or knew it was dry there, but...
Don't know how he managed to find them.
And he's right.
James Rose is out. There we go. Faller down. I think that is 82. Ben Castleton that's down there.
Hopefully he just looks obviously winded.
Yeah.
Number 8.
That's a kind of a minimum requirement of jumping off at Oulton Park, or good winding. Round Druids then, on towards Lodge now. Got to say that Billy McConnell has managed to stamp a bit of authority over this race, but fellow Australian is not going to let him get away with it. I don't know. John Boyle squeezes up the inside as well.
You can see rain in the camera lens here, pretty much.
Oh, they touch.
Yeah, just touching, a bit of elbowing going on now. All the time, the Australians are getting away at the front. Billy McConnell and Brendan Roberts. Then it is 78, John Boy Lee in 3rd. He's actually finding these tricky conditions. He's probably the best runner out there in these tricky conditions at the moment. And look at this.
It's starting to rain quite heavily.
Yeah. Well, John Boy Lee's pushing his luck, but then again, that's the whole name of the game if you're going for this superbike ride for the year 2006.
I'd say the guy with the hardest job here is number 75, Billy McConnell at the front. He's the one, he's the pioneer, he's the guy out there sussing out track conditions. The other guys can sit behind and have a look.
You don't like that position out the front there, do you?
Well, I like
when it's raining.
When it's raining.
Oh, there goes the animal bike. Up the inside goes Ian Lowry, your series leader.
It hasn't slowed down the passing manoeuvres this rain.
I suppose we should look where Mark Pollock is back in 8th place. He's 2nd in the championship at the moment, the Irishman on the 34 bike. So 8 Mark Pollock, Eddie Laycock employee, works in Eddie's shop over in Dublin, and wants to emulate Eddie Laycock as far as Grand Prix are concerned. Ireland's most famous Grand Prix rider. Down towards Hizzies. Tell you what, they're a little bit steadier into there now, so that must be a fraction damp on the way in.
Can't do really well, because we haven't seen tempted fate or any out of the saddle moments, considering how slippy it's getting. Yeah. Billy McConnell out on the paint, that is
if you go out to the paint, you'll soon see him out there.
Oh, and it under the bridge.
Ollie's getting excited. You can see the steam coming off the road as it dries the rain that has dropped. It's quite warm here at the moment, so it should dry fairly quickly. There is a breeze as well.
Whoa, and again.
We'll have a bit of that. And again.
Here we go. You get synchronised sideways now.
I'll tell you what, if I look around me here, you can see everybody jump. I don't know if it's because we're shouting.
These tyres were very slippy in the wet, especially around here as well.
Oh, there's one.
James Rose.
It is. Oi. Yes, well, there's not many people you can shout at for that. It's just an unfortunate situation. James Rose has looked good all the way through this race. You would expect a few more.
Such a fine line here into Lodge there.
I'll tell you, he was making up ground as well on the rider in front of him, but just a little bit too much on the front end, and really...
He was leading at Mallory as well before he tipped off, wasn't he?
It's a learning curve. And that is a curve that scares the life out of me. Cascades, just as it goes over that camber when it gets wet. Oil flag out again. I call it the oil flag, but it's for any slippery substance on the racetrack. And at the moment, the slippery substance is rain. Island corner. That's a big one to get off at there as well.
Here comes Ian Lowry down the inside.
Oh, he's being squeezed hard there. John Boy Lee was not going to leave anything more than, well, room for a cigarette paper. Still the Aussies up front.
I could just about get a Rizzler mention in there. In the R6 Cup.
Robert Wicks will be very happy with you.
It's another one on the clicker.
Is that how they do it? Still the Aussies, 75. Billy McConnell.
You can see the lines there where the track is getting damp and they're cutting through the water. No, it really is raining now. This is getting so tricky.
I think it's Lowry we've got to watch out for. He's now turned into the man that looks most likely to be making the moves in this damp conditions.
John Boylee's lost a few places there.
Who's that in third place?
That is
13.
David Anthony, another Australian.
Where did he ghost his way through from? The Astro Group bike. So David Anthony, we got 3 Aussies here. Now that is going to wreck Neil Mackenzie because he's been slightly vociferous about foreigners up on the podium here in British Championship races.
I'm not complaining, I'm just sort of
mentioning it. Yeah,
commenting how hungry they are.
David Anthony.
Past Brendan Roberts, a brave man. Qualified
made it look easy too.
No, I have full respect for these guys. Come here and beat our young lads up.
They are doing very well, aren't they, I must say.
Yeah.
Now, where's your young brother? Down in 15th place. Got a point on the board at the moment. That is Rob Mack, the daddy of the Virgin Mobile Cup.
This is Rob's worst nightmare because the potential now for damage is huge.
Yeah, Rob, of course,
now
is the man that
really
has to pay
heavy.
for it. Yeah, now it's real hold your breath time, Ollie. I mean, I can't imagine what it must be like to ride these bikes. And mind you, the conditions are changing gradually as opposed to in one great big deluge to catch you out on one individual corner.
Well, the situation we've got now is if you own a road bike and you have your ride in the wet, this is like racing home as fast as you can. And
I still felt, we got a technical red, so that race will stop, and that will be a race then. That will be a position. McConnell will have won it from David Anthony. In second place. He's got in front of Brendan Roberts, so 3 Aussies on the front. Ian Lowry, the series leader, is in 4th place next year, a bit like Carl Fogarty in the World Superbikes, really. So there it is. Billy McConnell, David Anthony and Brendan Roberts, your top Australians in the Virgin Mobile Cup for this week. And can we sense some domination coming up in the next few rounds, I wonder? Ian Lowry, series leader originally, in 4th place. John Boyley, Adam Jenkinson, Daniel Haggerty and Mark Pollock.